Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the interbubs. This is ReNDoG floating down a very deadly cave spider spawner farm in this Let's Play Minecraft Survival series. You see, guys, this is what happens when you try and get clever with your introduction, man. Bad things start to spawn around you, and mistakes get made. Hold on, let me get up on this platform, deal with this very cute little spider over here. Cave spider, listen, my dude, I don't have time for you right now. I'm trying to record a Minecraft episode. Oh, man, welcome back, guys, to Minecraft Survival. Oh, my goodness. The pain continues in the construction of our cave spider farm, guys. And today, we're gonna try and get this thing close to finished because I'm tired of getting my butt bitten by spiders. There's something else I want to do today, which I think is going to be kind of sweet. Take a look at this. I've brought down one of our maps that we used in our brand new map that we have in the Moleshire, and I want to use this map to try and figure out a way to get down here into the cave spider spawner farm, right? With this map, we can clearly see where we are facing. Of course, in this series, we're not allowed to use F3, so we can't actually see if we're facing north, south, east, or west. Using F3, so we got to use this map instead, and this direction looks like it's facing the mole hole. We can see the walls of the Moleshire over there to the left, the bottom left of the map, and if we look in this direction, that faces towards the Holiday Inn somewhere, and that should take us to our railway line, which is to the north of this map over here. So this tells me if we want to create some sort of a railway line from the Moleshire all the way down to the cave spider farm, we need to sort of start digging upwards in this direction, I suppose, and then we sort of need to head left at some point so that we can connect up with the railway line. So that's something that I'd like to do today. Should be a lot of fun. Before we get to that, though, I need to figure out exactly how this water is going to be flowing here in the cave spider spawner farm. So I thought we'd kick things off today doing a little bit of that jazz. Oh, hi, spider. What's happening? You know what? I'm just gonna close that up so I don't actually have to look at your ugly arachnid face. Anyway, so as we know, in our cave spider spawner farm, guys, we want to get all of our little cave spiders in this channel so that we can get them up to a killing platform up there. And unfortunately, we've got a little bit of problems right now. I've been doing a bit of experimenting over here with this particular side of the farm. And as we can see, if we get all of the water flowing, that water is not actually going to flow far enough for us to push the spiders all the way down here. However, there is something that we can do about this, which is going to be kind of easy to do, I think. What we can actually do is get this water flowing down multiple levels. And if we can do that, we should be able to get this water to flow all the way down to this position over here that's going to push the cave spiders coming out of this spawner all the way into this collection duct over here, right? So let me get a couple blocks down here, see if we can figure this out. And while I'm doing this, guys, I want to have a quick chat with you, man. I'm very excited today. It's snowing outside right now, which means it is absolutely bitterly cold in the ReNDoG real life house. I've got a blanket over my shoulders. I've got a really warm cup of rooibos tea over here, straight from South Africa. Give me 1 second. Oh man, but my fingers are absolutely frozen. I was trying to play with gloves on, but it doesn't work out very well. You end up pressing a whole bunch of the wrong buttons all the time. But it is snowing, which is really, really awesome for me. Snow is my absolute favorite weather in the world. And in fact, snow is something that I had never actually experienced or never actually seen until I moved to England many, many years ago. And I want to tell you guys about that first time that I came to England. Wow, that spider almost bit me right in the face. Jeez. Anyway, I came out to England a long time ago to pursue a brand new life in, well, a different country, I guess. I was living in Cape Town, South Africa, and I was having a pretty good time out there. I finished university and I moved to Cape Town. And I was trying to get a proper job there, and I worked as a journalist for a little bit, and things were going pretty good. But you know what? I was excited to see the world. I was excited to get out into the planet, see what was going on outside of South Africa, and get involved with, well, a lot of like really cool stuff that was going on at that time in my life. The internet was starting to become a real thing. You know, videos on the internet, music on the internet, things was really kicking off, and I was very excited to get into all all of that really awesome stuff. And South Africa, of course, is a country all the way at the end of the world and was a little bit behind everything else in the world when it comes to technology and whatnot. And of course, England was, well, maybe not at the cutting edge of technology, but certainly was up there with what was happening in the world of technology and so on. And so I decided to take my butt and move all the way over to England, literally on the other side of the world, because South Africa, of course, is at the tip of the African continent, and England is, well, all the way up near the North Pole. So I got into an airplane, I packed a suitcase, I took my guitar, and I literally flew over to England with a guitar and a suitcase full of clothes. And I arrived at about this time of the year with absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. Firstly, of course, in South Africa, which is in the southern hemisphere, February and March is a very warm time of year. It's basically the summertime in South Africa, right? Or at least getting to the end of the summertime anyway, or the middle of it rather. And in England, of course, in February and March, it is the bang smack in the middle of winter, the coldest time of the freaking year up in this business, man. So I went from beautiful warm weather to, well, ridiculously cold weather. Also, in South Africa, it doesn't really get that cold, or at least not as cold as it gets in England. And that was the first thing that absolutely smacked me in my face, man. I'd never felt such cold in my life before when I got off that airplane for the first time all those many years ago. By the way, this is what I was talking about, right? If we get some water flowing up here, we know that water flows 7 blocks, right? But if you actually let that water flow over the edge of those 7 blocks, you can actually extend the flowage of the water, right? So we know that this water flows to this position, so if we get rid of these blocks, then we'll see it flowing all the way down. Unfortunately, I think this is actually going to miss out here by 2 blocks, which is a little bit annoying. So what we're going to have to do is raise this entire aqueduct up a couple of blocks over here so that we can actually get this water flowing. I think I know what I'm doing over here, guys. Let me get the blocks down. Don't you worry, ReNDoG's got this, okay? Anyway, so I came out to England at about this time in the middle of winter when it was absolutely freezing, and I landed in this beautiful country with a suitcase and a guitar and absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I had about $2,000 in my pocket that I'd saved up from my working in Cape Town, and I came to England with absolutely no idea of what I was going to be up to here and no idea where I was going to work, no idea what I was going to do, and I actually slept on a friend's floor who had moved over to England a few years before. I slept on her floor for about a month's time or so, and it was kind of crazy times. I remember getting off the airplane at Heathrow Airport. It was absolutely freezing. I was wearing a t-shirt and like a jacket, like a leather jacket or something, and I was definitely not prepared for the cold. I was an absolute winter noob, being a South African and all, and I had to open up my suitcase in the bathroom of the airport to get myself some warmer clothes because I was absolutely dying, man. And I took the tube, I took the train all the way into the center of London and then took another train to get to my friend's house. And it was also, well, it wasn't snowing, but it was kind of sleeting. It was kind of like very light snow, but it was absolutely freezing, and I was dying, something fierce, man. Anyway, I was on her floor for a while. It took me a couple weeks to find some work, and my first job in London was an absolutely horrible one that I will never forget because it was really, really miserable. I was basically something in England that we call a ticket tout, and my job was to try and sell tickets to nightclubs and to theatre events in the centre of London in the middle of the night. So my shift would start at about 8 p.m. in the evening, and I would go to Leicester Square in the centre of England, or the centre of London rather, and I would try and sell tickets to nightclubs and to theatre productions and so on to people that were minding their own business and walking through the streets of London. So I was that guy who would come up to you while you were trying to walk in the city. Maybe you're on your way to have some dinner with your girlfriend. Maybe you're on a date or something, and there I would pop out of nowhere. ReNDoG would come at you from the side and be like, "Hey, are you guys interested in watching an awesome play this evening? Well, you're in luck. I've got some really cheap tickets that I can sell for you. And hey, if you'd like to go to a nightclub after you go and see that theater production, I've got you covered. I could get you discount tickets to go and see these plays and everything that you want to see in London. I can sort you out tonight." I was that guy. And the only way that I actually made any money in this job is if I sold tickets. It was a commission-based job, so that means that for every ticket I sold, I got, I think it was 20% commission or something like that, right? Okay, looks like we've got a little bit too far over here, guys, with the water flowage. So I think we're going to have to push this all back one block over here. Anyway, that was my job for the first couple of weeks that I was in England, and it wasn't very fun, I must say. I didn't enjoy myself that much. It was a very hard job. I didn't make a lot of money, and it really made me realize that, wow, I had come to a very, very brutal and very, very scary place. I was used to a much easier life in Cape Town, South Africa, and I had arrived in the real world, so to speak. It took me a couple of months or so to find myself a decent job, and I got into a job as an assistant marketing manager for a big retailer here in England, and that allowed me to actually move out of my friend's floor. I'm sure she was getting a little bit annoyed with me by the end of it. You know, you got this random stranger living on your floor. Oh man, couldn't have been fun for her. Anyway, I got a pretty decent job, and that allowed me to actually find my very own place to live, which was actually quite close to where she lived because, well, I didn't really know any of the area in England. And why is this not working? Oh, I think what I need to do is actually push this block back, maybe? I think I've completely messed this up over here, guys. Let's see if I can actually figure this water flow out. Anyway, moved into my own place just down the road from my friend's place that I'd been staying at. And I moved into a house share with quite a few people from all over the world. It took me about 2 weeks, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks to actually find a place. And in England, or in London anyway, one of the most usual things that you do when you move to London is that you live with other people, right? That's sort of the thing that you do here because, well, rent is very expensive, and, you know, it's much easier to share the rent with a whole bunch of people. So I moved into a house with about, I don't know, it must have been about 6 or 7 other people. I remember there was a guy from Spain, there was a girl from Holland, there was 2 girls from England, and a guy from England too who was a banker in the city. And those were my housemates, and I'll never forget the very first time that I met them. It was actually quite a heartwarming experience. I'd been working as this ticket tout in London now for a couple of weeks, and I was feeling a little bit down. I was very unhappy with life. I was feeling like I'd made a huge mistake moving out here, giving up my job in Cape Town and giving up my apartment in Cape Town and everything, leaving everything behind in South Africa to move to England. And I don't know, I felt like I'd made a rather big mistake. But when I went to this house that I was going to eventually live in, these housemates were absolutely amazing. I knocked on the door and they opened the door for me, and they welcomed me into the home with a cup of tea and some cupcakes, some muffins that they had gotten from Starbucks or something. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Why can't I make this water source actually go in the correct direction here? What am I doing wrong? It looks like I might be, maybe this needs to go back to this position over here. Is this the flow that's the problem? Not entirely sure. Anyway, they welcomed me into their home with open arms and a cup of tea and a delicious double chocolate chip muffin. And they sold me. I was absolutely sold with them. I was so happy with how nice these people were, and I immediately said, yes, I'd love to live with you guys if you guys are willing to live with me. And they all said they were willing to live with me, which was awesome. And within a few days or so, I had moved into that house from the place that I was living. What am I doing wrong here? Why is this water flowing over the edge? Seriously, am I a complete and utter derp right now? What is actually going on? Is this the problem over here? Does there need to be like another staircase over here? Is this the problem? Let's just have a look. That's going to flow all the way down and over the edge like that, which is very, very strange to me. I'm clearly doing something very wrong here. Give me one moment to figure this out, guys. Alright, guys, I think I figured this out. This is what happens when the ReNDoG brain tries to do more than one thing at the same time. I mean, let's face it, I can barely do one thing at the same time with this brain, am I right? Anyway, I have raised up the water stream by 2 blocks over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to punch out these blocks over here, which is going to continue that water flowing down. And what we can actually do is control the distance of the final flow over here by increasing the size of this bottom platform over here. You can see the water sort of expands a little bit, right? And that's going to push that water all the way over to the edge here, which is good. Hello, spider. I see you, my dude. So there we go. Now we got the water water flowing from that spawner. That's going to push the spiders all the way down here into the collection canal. And I guess all we need to do here is the same on this side, right? And I suppose we should start with this flow over here. Looks like we might need to go one block up to get the water to flow over the edge. But we don't want to get too close to the bottom of the spawner over here. Let me see if I can work this out. So yeah, anyway, where was I in the story? So yeah, I went to look at this house share, and I really liked it. The people were so nice. They welcomed me with tea and muffins. And how can anybody say no to moving into a house when you're offered tea and muffins? Am I right, guys? I mean, what a nice thing for people to do. So I moved all my stuff in, and when I say all my stuff, I mean my suitcase and my guitar, basically. Moved them into my brand new house with my brand new housemates, and it was probably about middle of March, end of March, I suppose. And on one of the days that I was living there, the snow started to fall like nobody's business. We had a huge, huge snowfall. I have been poisoned by the cave spider. Give me 1 second to deal with this. Drink myself a little bit of milk. And there we go. Everything's good. Oh man. So yeah, we had this massive snowfall about a week or so after I moved in, and I was so freaking excited because, of course, being from South Africa, I had never seen snow before. I had no idea what snow was. I had no idea how awesome snow was too. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you look out of your window and the entire city around you is white. It is just an incredible thing to see. Of course, by the end of the day, all of that snow has turned into black sludge and slime, but hey, we don't talk about that, okay? We just try to enjoy the freshly laid snow. Nothing more beautiful than fresh snow in a city, I think. It is absolutely glorious. This is going to be a problem now, guys. Looks like we are probably going to have to drop this particular delivery aqueduct down by 1 over here if we want to get this water flowing correctly. So yeah, there was this massive, massive snowfall. I was super excited, and of course I wanted to do something that I had never done in my life before, and that is make a snowman. This house that I was living at had a very, very small garden outside, like most London homes. It was a tiny garden, the size of a tabletop, I would say. It was absolutely minuscule, but there was a little bit of lawn out there, and there was about 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters of snow on the lawn, which was perfect for me. That's all I needed to create my very first snowman. Of course, nobody told the ReNDoG that snow is actually very, very cold. And I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, guys, but if you have never seen snow before or never touched snow before, you don't actually realize how cold it actually is. And I thought I was ready to go and make a snowman. I put a warm jacket on that I'd bought for myself a week before, a nice winter jacket that was impossible to buy in South Africa, of course. I had my thermal underwear on, I had my jeans on, I had my shoes on, I had my beanie on, and I was ready to make myself a snowman, baby. It's going to be awesome. Of course, what I forgot to put on was some gloves because, well, I'm a snow noob, and I started building a snowman with no gloves on, and it took about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so for my hands to become basically completely numb. For those of you guys who maybe live in a snow area, you'll know that the biggest mistake that you can make when making a snowman or making anything out of snow is not wearing gloves. Noob error. Real life noob error. First major ReNDoG brain malfunction in the history of my brain, I think. And within 10 or 15 minutes, I had a little snowman going. I had his body. I'd plonked his head on top of the body. I was feeling super good, but I couldn't feel my freaking hands. And they started to sting quite a lot. It was a very, very painful feeling in my hands after that time. And even though my hands were numb, of course, that numbness quickly turns to a very biting and very painful feeling, if you guys have ever felt it before. I think we're probably going to have to drop this down by another level over here too, right? So that we can match up there, because it looks like these two water streams are meeting in a very strange way. Anyway, my housemates were sitting in the lounge watching me build this snowman, probably thinking I was one of the weirdest humans that they'd ever met. This crazy, weird South African had just moved in with them, super excited about snow, and now here he was outside building a snowman and freezing his freaking fingers off because he wasn't using any gloves. And I had to very quickly go inside and try warm my hands up. Made a very big mistake, of course, because, well, like a snow noob, instead of warming my hands up slowly by putting them into gloves or putting them into a blanket, I put them directly under flowing hot water, and it literally felt like my hands were on fire. fire. It wasn't a great day for the ReNDoG, guys. Let me tell you something, man. It was my first major snowfall. It was the first time I'd ever seen snow like that, so I was super happy, but at the same time, I think I almost gave myself frostbite / destroyed my hands forever. Not a good look for the ReNDoG. Also, not a good look for the ReNDoG is I have completely and utterly derped this up, guys. This has been probably the least productive storytelling session with ReNDoG in the history of any Minecraft video that I've ever made. I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm sorry about the derps, guys. Let me see if I can get this fixed up. I'm such an idiot. Jeez. I'm doing my best to redeem myself over here, guys. I've been hard at work getting the spawner looking a little bit better than it was before. I've replaced all of the walls with these stone bricks. I think it's starting to look really cool. Even though we're probably never going to actually look inside here, at least in our hearts we will know that our spider spawner farm looks the business. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Still need to do the roof, but I'll probably do that off camera because that's going to take a long time. But looks like all of the water is now streaming the way it should, although this one is looking a little bit strange. There we go. That's going to take it all the way to the edge there. Very nice. Yeah, so basically what I did is I pushed the water streams back into the walls where I needed to, and these blocks need to be changed out for stone also before the OCD kicks in something fierce. So let's get that done real quick. Nice. And on this side also, I think I lowered the whole system down by 1 block and then adjusted the flow by expanding this middle ledge over here. And yeah, that spider spawner up there, it looks like it's got enough space to spawn. Inside here, we've got the big spider spawner, of course, which is a little bit annoying. By the way, I'm wearing Depth Strider boots, which is actually making it quite easy to work in this spawner. Oh, you stupid idiot spider. I don't have any milk on me right now. So the poison's going to kick in here, man. But yeah, so unfortunately we've lost a couple of blocks on that side of the spawner for spawning, but I think that's okay. We've also lost a couple of blocks on this side because what I've done in the Big Daddy spawner is I've made this wall 2 blocks thick, right? These spawners actually spawn critters 4 blocks from the spawner itself. So this is 2 blocks from here, and then it's going to be another 2 blocks in. So I've actually made this a solid 2-block wall over here for the daddy spawner, and that's okay. Let's just close that up. Don't want to mess with that too much now until we get to that part of the project. But yeah, looking pretty good. The water aqueducts are working. The cave spiders are being delivered, it seems, into the center bit. And next up for this project, of course, is going to be trying to figure out exactly how we funnel those spiders into a kill zone of some kind. But I tell you what, guys, I have been in this thing for far too long this afternoon, and I'm ready to get my butt out of here, man. Enough cave spiders for one day for the ReNDoG. Let's do something a little bit more interesting, shall we? Let's try and figure out exactly how we are going to get down to our quad cave spider spawner, or our quad spider spawner farm, rather. And let's make use of our map over here. What I'm thinking, right, is we need to actually dig all the way up to the surface and create some sort of a railway line that we can take from the Moleshire railway station that we're going to create, right? So we can hop in a minecart and it's going to take us all the way down to here somewhere, and then we can come and stand on this block, get all the spiders spawning and farm them and get their XP and their string and all that jazz. So maybe what we need to do is just, I don't know, maybe we just start digging upwards from this position over here. Let's assume that we're going to create some sort of a room or something over here, right? Like some sort of a facility for these spiders. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's give ourselves that much space to make a nice little room or a nice little chamber there for the spider killing. And maybe this will be like the station down here where we will actually get off the minecart. So this seems like a pretty decent place to start digging upwards. And I guess all we need to do is actually dig upwards without dying to gravel, I suppose, and see where we come up on the surface. We don't want to go too far, though, right? Because if we go too far, it's going to take us quite a long trip to actually get down to the spider mine. And I'd kind of like to take a sort of right turn, or a left turn here, rather, at some point. Let's take a closer look at this map. And basically what we want to do is we want to come up somewhere after the wall of the Moleshire. So we can see the wall in the bottom left-hand corner of the map there. I kind of want to get up to the surface a little bit after that so we can join the railway line up there, right? So I guess we're just going to go a little bit up and then take a left, I suppose, and that should get us out at a pretty decent spot. Guys, I have just had a really sweet idea. I've been trying to figure out where the railway line from the Moleshire to the spider farm is going to go, and what I'd like to do is actually create another bridge over this ravine over here, right? We've got that bridge there that takes us to the Holiday Inn and to Skeleton, and what I'd like to do is have another bridge that's going to be supporting a railway line coming out of the Moleshire railway station and then over this ravine again. Having a couple of bridges here I think is going to look really, really sweet. So I've actually dug myself all the way out already, but we came out a little bit early actually. So let me just mark a couple of blocks down over here. This is sort of where we want to come out, and I think I came out somewhere over here. Let's have a look. There should be the hole in the ground. It's somewhere over here. There it is. Yeah, here it is. So this is a little bit early. So instead of coming out over here, I think I'd rather come out a few blocks ahead of us in this direction. So I'm going to have to head down here and figure out exactly how we're going to do that. I suppose I can count the blocks up here and then start digging in that direction. Good job, Brain. You actually did it. We've just come up over here, guys, and I've laid down the blocks to show me where that railway line is going to go. So this staircase takes us all the way down to the cave spider spawner, and as we come up here, we're going to follow another railway line that'll take us all the way across that ravine and over a bridge into the Moleshire again. And I think that's going to turn out really, really cool. Very excited about this railway line project to get us down to the spider spawner farm. There we go. Nice. We'll have a bridge across here, and it's going to be sweet. Anyway, guys, I think I've put my brain through enough strain for today, so I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'm going to start setting up this railway line, and next time we come together, maybe we can start laying down some tracks. That could be pretty fun. But that's going to do it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, you know what to do. You hit that freaking like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, because things are already starting to get cooking up in this series, baby. You don't want to miss a moment. See you next time, guys. Thank you so much for watching. ReNDoG, signing out. We'll smell you all in the next episode.